A symbolic play, this is how this golden age works. This 3.5 to 7.5 is all pictures and songs and learning through symbols on how to play. And the children have an entire library up here and in here and in here and here. And it has to come out. If you don't have the words to tell the story, if you can't write the words or read the words, how are you going to communicate? Well, okay, you can say some, but you're limited. Your vocabulary is very limited. So how are you going to tell me about your birthday party? You know, you could tell me a little bit, but what if you're only 2.5?
Ready?
How are you going to do this? Communication is what makes us human, right? So what if you were to use these tools to communicate with? Now, okay, it's a block, right? But it can be a symbol of this can represent so many things. So now you're given a child who has limited experience in life. They're little kids. Limited vocabulary. Just a whole limited way of being, just because they're so young and they haven't been here very long. But now you're giving them endless possibilities on how to represent their world. The world that they experience, their little small circle of their family, and then as they grow older, the world that they start to discover. Then as their imagination starts to click in at like that 3.5, 4 years old, they start imagining things. Oh, well, we don't know what's going on up here. But if they can show us through their play using these very simple materials, now they've represented something that's going on in here and here.
I will return to a superhero.
It goes back to observation. The whole idea of training how to look at your surroundings, how to observe, how you're using your own hands, but how are you manipulating the blocks in such a way. And Froebel wanted to do something as simple as play and make it educational. So this is what he trained the teachers to do. So not only are they just doing something simple as playing with blocks, they're using how the child is playing to pick up key factors of the child's personality, their strengths, maybe their weaknesses, and what needs to be developed more. As Froebel said, my children will not be educated, they'll be developed. So how do you develop somebody? You start very slowly. So you work with what is their strengths. So an example would be a gift play. Now, there is some controversy as to, well, did he just do free play with the children just doing whatever they want with the blocks? Or was it more guided play where the teacher was the guide and you do exactly what the teacher says? And the answer is both. You find different starting points. Some like to start with just the free play and get the children used to playing with the blocks on their own in a very open-ended, imaginative way. Some like to start with the guided play, so the children can figure out how to use these and then follow up with a free play. But when you give the child their gift and the teacher is either sitting at the head of the table or like what I like to do, because young children, definitely before the ages of 7, have a hard time with mirrored images. So I sit either to the left or the right of a child, because they can then see what I'm doing. If I'm sitting across from them, then my left hand is opposite. And so that's very difficult when you're very little. And a lot of people don't understand that. So I sit directly next to the child when I am playing, when I am drawing, when I am writing, so that they can see exactly what I'm doing. And if they're a right-handed child, I'm sitting on their right. And if they're left-handed, I sit on their left. And so when we're doing a gift play, you start out very simply, what does it sound like? So right away, the first step is your senses.
Oh, this is a gift. Oh, that makes really good sound, doesn't it?
So close your eyes, hold out your hands, and I put a gift there. What does that feel like?
Is it hard?
What does that feel like? Don't open your eyes. Can you feel it?
Is it smooth or hard next? I don't know.
Is it heavy? Is it light? What do you think it's made out of it? Is it sharp? All right, what do you feel? Poking? What part of the cube? Okay, open your eyes. What part of the cube makes it poke? And children who don't necessarily have the words cube and cylinder and sphere can tell you, oh, it's flat, it's sharp, it's pointy, it feels like a square. Okay, all right, good. All right, keep your eyes closed. Now, shake it. Ooh, what does it sound like? What do we hear? Is there something inside?
Can we open?
What do you think is inside? So it's all these open-ended questions. You're not telling them, shake the box. You're like, oh, what do you think it sounds like? So now there's another sense. So now you got the feel, you've got the sound. Okay, now open your eyes. Oh my gosh, wonder, right? Here's this box. Oh, but what's in the box? Well, let's go to the table and find out. We put the box there. We still haven't opened the box. We might bang the box on the table. The same shape. Do they sound the same?
One has a hump. Yes, but one has a hump there.
Yeah.
And it comes out.
What are they made out of?
Wood.
We might turn it over and over and over, almost like somersaults, but it's a cube, so it's going to go turn, clunk, turn, clunk, turn. Why? What is inside? So these why questions, think about it. That's science. That's math, right? If you get all the kids at once to turn them all at once, which is really difficult, it sounds really, really cool. So then you get to this point, it's a slow build-up. So now you tell them how to open it. Well, this is a gift. Oh, well, let's talk about gifts. Do you get gifts? Do you get a gift on your birthday? Are you excited? All right, so we talk about the whole gift aspect and what does it mean to have a gift?
And they're called gifts. When we think about gifts, what do we think about? Tell me a little bit about gifts. What do you know about gifts?
And then we might then go, ready? Are your eyes open? You ready? Gotta look quick. What was that? Look inside, close it quick. Do we see anything inside?
Yay!
One more quick look.
Wood.
Ready? Gonna do it again. It's something inside. All right, well then let's see what's inside. But we have to open it a special way. And the more you make the gift magical, the more you make it special, you give it this awe kind of feeling. This is really important to children. When they start growing out of it, they're like, yeah, so you open the box, who cares, right? But that's okay, because if they've been playing with this since the time they were little, when they had this magic and awe, then whatever new you introduce to them will still have that quality to it. They carried that, and they've carried that respect and that magicness. So then they would open it just one finger length. Can you open the door and put your finger in?
I opened it.
And then we would turn it once. This is counting. Turn it again. Oh, now see that little magic door? There's something inside. We've got to let it out, but we have to open the door before we let it out. God, listen. No talking. Is it going to make a noise? Okay, now ready? Close your eyes. Nice and tight. I want you to listen. Ready? You listening?
Yeah.
What did we hear? What did we hear? I'd ask them. Ask the kids. How many did we hear? 2. Okay. Now ready? Slowly, very slowly lift it up. Oh,
There we go.
oh my gosh. And of course then you would get the kid goes, oh, it's just blocks, but
These are yours.
for a lot of kids, they're like, oh, this is so totally cool. And so now we're gonna put the lid in the box and we're gonna put it to the side. We might use that in our play later, but right now we're just gonna find out what's inside. So then we would do a gift play. And one of the early ones I would do, because you've got this wholeness, is At this point, depending on the child and how well I know them and how excited they are, I may at this point just do a free play and let them just play by themselves. And I wouldn't do anything guided. And I may even just get up from the table and walk around, or I would be busy doing something else so that I'm not focused on them and they have their own time in their own little world. And then later on, I might, either the next day or 10 minutes later, I would have to judge that in situation, because every child and every class is different. Then I may do a guided gift play.
What can we do with these blocks?
I'm making a line with them.
A line? That's a good thing.
See? And I'm making the train with them.
What?
This is also a train.
It's a train? Can I connect my train to your train?
I'm going to go connect it to mine.
I first look for magic, and if they're excited about the smallest things, and if they can follow my leads. My leads are very gentle, they're very playful, they're very open-ended. I'm also looking at their sensory ability. You know, can they identify a smooth surface compared to a point? If I put the point on each finger, can they count with me? Is their sequence correct? Are they repeating after me? I'm not saying, okay, repeat after me, 1, 2. I'm saying 1. And are they saying 1 either to themselves or are they saying out loud? How many of those are there? So I'm listening to, do they have sequencing down? Do they have their feelings? Can they determine a surface compared to an edge to a point? Does it feel smooth or does it hurt? Do they have patience? Are they going to slowly do it? Are they going to lift it up, pull it out, dump the blocks out? So are they able to follow very gentle, slow rules, or are they impatient? Then when you get to, if it's a free play, where I'm just kind of hovering in the ethers, so to speak, do they know how to instigate their own play? Do they have an imagination? Are they copying the child next to them? Or if it's a one-on-one session, yet I'm stepping away to maybe get something, are they just going to sit there waiting for me to guide them? Do they have any self-initiation?
I made a rocket ship. I'm making a rocket. I made a square rocket ship.
What do you think?
3, 2, 1, blast off!
What else can you make with those?
Look at, I made a rocket ship.
And when we're doing a guided gift play, and I'll say something simple as, this is going to be a cake, and then I would do a guided lesson about cake.
Miss Olive, can you make a cake for your birthday?
I made a cake.
What kind of cake?
Chocolate and vanilla.
I might even have candles or the sticks and a little bit of clay and do candles and pretend to light them, and we would sing happy birthday. And
But wait, we have missing something from our cake. What goes on top of the cake when we have a birthday? Candles. So we need to put some candles on there.
neighbors come over. Oh, we need more cake. Let's cut the cake. So then we would do this.
Now, what do we have to do to the cake? Everybody wants a piece. What do we have to do?
Cut it.
Cut it. Can we cut our cake in 2? Cut it? Yeah, you're using, very good.
I'm looking to see, can they, first of all, follow my patterns? Because it's all imitation. So can they follow my patterns? Are they listening and with their ears, looking with their eyes, and then following through with their hands what I'm doing?
Okay, she's cutting it. Can you cut your cake?
If I ask them a question about, we're doing a story, and the story, I'm just pulling the story right out of the air. I'm not coming with a preconceived story. So I'm using whatever is in my surroundings to tell the story.
I could cut my cake.
Yeah?
Okay, but
Now, should we eat it? Should we eat our cake? Can you eat your
my cake.
You ate, how many pieces of cake did you eat? 8 pieces of cake? Do you have a tummy ache?
No.
No, okay.
So now are they going to fill in the gaps of the story? Are they going to add to the story? And if they add it, Are they going to add it in a sequential manner? They all may do a guided play and they're all doing the same thing and they're all learning from each other. But now, what if you now have, okay, so now we did our play about the birthday party and all the boys that came to the party. But now they're all going to play games. What games are at your party? Oh, well, I want to play pin the tail on the donkey, or we're going to kick the soccer ball around. Okay, can you show me that with your gifts? Okay. Do you need a soccer goalie? Oh, yes. Well, you know what? It's okay to use your box. You can use your box as your soccer goalie. Okay. Oh, well, we just want to sit at the table and draw at our party. Okay, well, you can use your lid and you can make a table. And here's some chairs. And you can all sit there and you can color. So now we're using the box as part of the gift play because it still is a whole, right? Because it was all part of it. This would have driven the Victorian teachers crazy. You'd have to put the box away under your chair. You don't use it. But I don't know, because Froebel never wrote it, whether to use the box or not. He didn't say yes, he didn't say no. So I like to think that it's part of the whole, so why not? So once all the children are now building their individual things, so we went from free play to guided play, back to free play, all within 15 minutes maybe. So now the teacher can go around and do a uniting story. How do we bring these all together? She already set the premise, I set the premise of it's a birthday party. And then at the very end, you might want to sing happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Olive. Happy birthday to you. Now, do we blow out the candles? Okay, let's blow out the candles. Ready? Did you make a wish? Did you make a wish?
Yeah.
What was your wish? Do we tell our wish, or is that secret? It's a secret. Okay, so we gotta blow out our candles. You gonna blow out your candles? Okay, now.
I have another cake that has...
Another cake? Is that chocolate and vanilla also?
Yeah.
Okay. Here's a plate for you.
See where I'm going with this? I'm going with we're cleaning up. Now, what would I say to those kids? Okay, let's clean up. It's time to go. Oh, you've just taken this magic bubble and you've burst it. Right? Not so good.
Okay, can you put your cake on the plate? And a piece of cake for Dad. And who else came to the party?
So now we have the cake all ready. Look at all the cakes on the table. Wow. Now, at a later lesson, if you were to repeat this, you might want to unify all the gifts into one really big cake. But right now, that's not the goal.
All right, so now, do you have a whole cake again?
Yep.
All right, now we're gonna hide the cake.
Now, the cake needs to be put away. All right? We're going to save it for another day.
Hide it, no peeking. We have to take it home for leftovers.
Scooch it to the end of the table and flip. And put the little door in, and your gift is put away.
Push it in. All done. Now we have cake to go. Good idea? We can have cake later. All right.
Then at this point, if I have a group of children, I usually have a tray at the end, and everybody picks up their gift and they put it in the tray, and then we go outside and we play. Friedrich Froebel never used the word assessment. We are hung up on assessment nowadays. We over-assess. It's just the times we are in currently. Froebel did say that he did, through his observation of children, he had a pattern that he wrote down that not many people know of. And that is, first we're going to play. We're going to play with the gifts. We might play with something else. We're going to play. then you're going to tell me about it. Let's have a conversation. Now, when you're talking to a 3-year-old, it's going to be a very limited conversation. If you play with these gifts with an older child, it might be a long conversation. So then we're going to talk about it. Okay, now go back to where it's a younger child. Now draw me a picture. Oh, okay. So you give them the crayons or whatever, and they draw a picture. Is it going to be of the gift exactly? No, it's going to be what they imagined that the gifts represent. So now you've got, a pictorial rendition of what they've built. If you hold up the picture and you look at the gifts, are they going to be the same? No, but it is what the child imagines that they built. So now there is an assessment right there. You can tell just from a child's drawing what is going on. And then, of course, as you're building, you can find out what is going on, what are maybe the strengths, what are the weaknesses, what needs to be repeated. So then after you draw the picture, you talk about it. So this is his assessment. This is how he did things. And it's very nurturing, very at the child's level, very, what's the word for it? Holistic, play, conversation, draw, conversation, maybe play some more. So you can see how this is very beneficial. And if you have a teacher or a parent who's tuned into that child and has been trained in this methodology and has gone through and studied the philosophy and knows the history of the kindergarten, and not just of Froebel and the kindergarten, but what was going on in Germany at the time, what was going on in America at the time. Why is this so important? Because you're like, oh, well, I don't need that to teach blocks with a kid. Oh, but yes, you do. You're not sharing it. I want you to play with these blocks because there were all these free thinkers in Germany that ran off to another country. You don't do things like that. But if you've got that in you, you can teach out of that. So that makes your teaching experience even more rewarding. And then the child is the benefit of that. They don't know it, but that's okay. That's that beauty of that unconscious conscience, So.